In tech, we love the new shiny thing.
'Cause we can't help it. 'Cause we are human.
Yeah, we are dumb fucks. Every week there's a new JavaScript framework that promises to fix all the problems of the last framework that was supposed to fix all the problems. Anyways, we're talking about programming languages that refuse to die. These are the fucking zombies of tech world. And trust me, as someone who has had to dive into a 20-year-old code base at 3 a.m., I have a complicated relationship with these languages. First thing on the table, we have got COBOL. Let's start with the big daddy of the undead, COBOL. We're talking about a language born in 1959. That's before the Beatles, before the moon landing. Now here's the thing about COBOL that a lot of young programmers don't get. They look at the syntax, and yeah, it's verbose as hell. It reads like a bad legal contract, because just look at this. This is everything you have to write to just print "Hello World" in COBOL. But it was designed for one thing and one thing only, handling massive amounts of business data and doing it without fucking up. Specifically, it's a beast at handling large precision decimal calculations. That means money. It doesn't round pennies wrong. Banks kind of like that. Look at these numbers. COBOL handles 95% of ATM swipes, 80% of all in-person credit card transactions. We're talking over $3 billion in commerce every single day. Yes, fucking $3 billion. Running on code written by people who are probably retired or dead. I remember a few years ago during the pandemic when unemployment claims surged in the US. Suddenly, news headlines were screaming, "We need COBOL programmers." State systems built in the 70s were buckling under the load. And there's this panic because all the kids coming out of boot camps know React, but they don't know how to fix a legacy mainframe.
Fortran.
Just kidding, I mean Fortran. That's the second language. This devil was released in 1957. Speaking of old, let's go back even further. Fortran, formula translation. If COBOL runs your money, Fortran runs your reality. This is the language of science. Weather prediction, computational fluid dynamics, nuclear physics. If it involves math that makes your brain bleed, it's probably Fortran. Now, the cool origin story here is about a guy at IBM, John Backus. He was working on missile trajectory calculations, basically doing everything in assembly, and he got lazy. He said, and I quote,
"Much of my work has come from being lazy."
So he invented a high-level language to make it easier. Fortran is ancient, older than COBOL, and yet ask any PhD student running climate models what they use. It's Fortran. Why? Because these code bases have been optimized for half a century. We're talking millions of lines of code that scientists have debugged, verified, and tweaked to squeeze out every ounce of performance from a supercomputer. You can't just rewrite that in Python.
No.
Python is slow as molasses for the kind of number crunching these people do. And modern AI? Forget it. These compilers are so mature, they optimize your code better than any human could. Fortran survives because scientists don't care about your feelings about so-called modern syntax.
I agree.
They care about results. And when you're simulating the inside of a nuclear reactor, you don't want to trust some framework that was updated last Tuesday. You want the old, grizzled veteran that has seen 1,000 wars and won.
Oh my gosh, $1!
Okay, let's pivot to a different kind of survivor. Lisp. Lisp was technically the second oldest high-level language, and it was built for one and only one thing: artificial intelligence. Yes, don't give that look of, "What the fuck?" Way back in the late 50s, John McCarthy was already thinking about symbolic computation. Now, if you've ever seen Lisp, you know it's just parentheses. It looks like someone dropped a bag of brackets on the keyboard. But under that ugly exterior, Lisp was doing shit that we only recently decided was cool again. It introduced garbage collection. That's right, automatic memory management. Java and Python stole that. It introduced the REPL, that interactive shell we all love. Stolen. It treated functions as first-class citizens, the basis of modern functional programming. Also stolen. Lisp is basically the tech thief's favorite victim.
Why won't it die?
That's a good question. Well, because it's a language that thinks different. It has this concept called homoeconicity, meaning code is data and data is code. It allows for macros that can rewrite themselves. It's a language that lets you bend the rules of the universe. There's a saying,
Learning Lisp makes you a better programmer, even if you never use it.
The Godfather. See, we cannot have this conversation without talking about the Godfather, because C isn't just a language that refuses to die. It's the soil that every other language grows in. So it is the chosen one. You want to know why C is immortal?
Yes, Daddy!
Because everything else is built on top of it, or written in it. Python, written in C Java Virtual Machine, written in C your operating system, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, the cores are C. C is the language of the machine. It's a high-level assembly language. It gives you pointers which are just memory addresses. It lets you shoot yourself in the foot, blow off your whole leg, and then walk it off. If you need speed, if you need to talk directly to hardware, if you're writing an embedded system in your car or a toaster, it's C. The Linux kernel, which runs most of the internet and all of Android, is still accepting new code written in C. So it's not going anywhere. It's the foundation. You don't replace the foundation, you just build new floors on top. PHP. If you were on the internet in the 2000s, you used PHP. It powered Facebook in its early days. It powers WordPress, which runs like 40% of the web. Man, PHP is the duct tape of the internet, and for years, programmers have been shitting on it. It's inconsistent. Yeah, we know, we get it. You're very smart for using Node.js. But here's the thing, PHP has that your fancy compiled language doesn't. It's the easiest path from zero to website. You want to host a dynamic site? You buy a server for $5, upload a PHP file, and it just works. No compilation step, no complex deployment pipelines. It's designed for the web. Rasmus Leerdorf, the creator, didn't set out to make a language. He just wanted to track visits to his resume. He was lazy, just like every programmer out there, just like Bacchus.
Really, nigga?
And that laziness created a tool that democratized the web. Now, the modern versions, PHP 7 and 8, they're actually fast, like really fast. They have a just-in-time compiler. They have modern syntax. The joke is that everyone who makes fun of PHP hasn't used it in 10 years. And now it's so deeply entrenched in hosting infrastructure that pulling it out would be like pulling out a load-bearing wall.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Ruby and Python. The youngsters who are already immortal. Ruby, and specifically Ruby on Rails. In the mid-2000s, Rails was the hottest shit on the planet. Every startup was using it. It made building web apps fast. And then the hype died down. JavaScript ate the world. But Ruby didn't die. Look at GitHub. Look at Airbnb. They still run on Rails. Why? Because Rails is a mature, stable framework that lets you ship code fast. It's not cool anymore, but it pays the bills. And then there's Python. Python is the cockroach of programming languages, and I mean that as the highest compliment. It survived the transition from scripting language to the king of data science and AI. Python survives because it's the best second language. You're a statistician? Learn Python. You're a biologist? Python. You're a hacker? Python. You're smart? Python. It refuses to die because it welcomes everyone. It lowers the barrier to entry. And once you have that kind of community, a language doesn't die. It fucking evolves. Before we wrap this up and I get out of your hair, let's talk about something I touched on a lot in this video. Fundamentals. So if you want to actually understand the why behind the code, that's where Brilliant comes in. Brilliant isn't one of those apps that just shows you a video and hopes you retain it. It's hands-on. You learn by doing. Whether you want to finally wrap your head around the algorithms that make Python fast or understand the calculus that Fortran is crunching for those weather simulations, Brilliant has a course for it. It's the kind of learning that sticks because you're actively solving problems, not just watching someone else do it. I use it when I want to get out of my depth and actually learn something new without the YouTube rabbit hole of distractions. Right now, they have a ton of courses that tie directly into what we talked about. Every concept, every lesson forces you to actually solve problems. You're dragging pieces around a screen, figuring out logic puzzles, breaking things down until they click. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/nulllstalgia. Scan the QR code on screen or click on the link in the description. Brilliant has also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant.